How's it going, YouTube? Convention today with another video, and today, everyone, we're going to be going to the regional in PA. I'm very excited to go. This is going to be a really cool day. We're going to be playing the branded Chimera deck that I was playing at Indianapolis. Made a couple changes, and let's just say that my sideboard is ready for Unchained. I'm ready to go. It's 3:30 in the morning, so let's go ahead and hop on into the car ride. At South Park, Pennsylvania. It's a really good time being here, honestly. It's really cool. It's just really cold outside too. I know that that's one thing that not a lot of people like, but I really like personally. I think it's really nice being from Michigan. The fact that fall setting in, it's always a nice environment coming down here in the morning, a little bit of fog. But I'm here with Steven Santoli. I got Patrick from Interstellar Gaming as well. If you want to go ahead and introduce both of yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Pat from Team Interstellar. Feel free to follow us on Discord. I think we have an Instagram and Twitter and some other stuff. I don't know, I don't run any of it, but yeah, you're ready to have a good time, man.
I'm Steven. I went to Worlds last year and I promote Exo Sister gameplay. Unfortunately, I'm not playing that today, so.
You guys both excited?
Oh yeah, ready, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really fun event. I definitely ran back the same deck from last time, so I made a couple changes. There's gonna be a lot of cash tier, probably. A Rise Heart just got banned, so we're expecting probably a heavier amount of cash. A little bit of Unchained, we're ready for that too, and probably a lot of Rogue.
Yeah,
probably a lot of Rogue.
Always a lot of Rogue, which is unfortunate.
We don't fear that Unchained though. We're ready.
What's a matchup you don't want to play against today?
Morphia.
fair. Skill drain.
Man.
And what are yourself?
I don't want to play against Lab.
Lab?
I have a horrible record versus that deck at events.
It's fine, dude.
Even
Even
when I'm prepared, it feels that I just don't draw the outs and then I get shenanigans turn 0.
That's fair. I feel like if there's one deck that I really don't want to play against, it's Infernoble. I just don't really want to read all the cards. I know what it does, but like, man, you really have to sit there and just like read through each one to make sure they're going through correctly.
Yeah, they have like 7 cards to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I didn't side deck Dark Ruler. This is a bad card right now, so you know, hopefully we don't get punished for that. I am playing Droll though. A lot of people are not, so we'll see how that goes.
Sleeping on it, man.
How's it going, YouTube? Round 1 just concluded, and I won 2-1 against Labyrinth. So game 1, my opponent ripped Prosperity for 6 and just took 6 off the top of their extra deck, so I assumed that it was a strategy that just didn't need the extra deck. So then my opponent was playing Labyrinth. This was a really interesting matchup. Round 1, my hand was insane in the first game, and my opponent was able to put up Skill Drain, so I did conclude that match really quick because I didn't want to spend too much time trying to out a Skill Drain. I just didn't really have an easy way to out it, so I went directly to game 2, where in game 2 my hand was absolutely insane. Branded Fusion for Sanctifier, summon out the Chimera, get the hand rip, and have Chimera Fusion set with Ash in hand. And then when my opponent went, I was able to go ahead and summon out another monster to gain more card advantage to my hand. And then they called Battle Phase, but I did have Sanctifier, so I gave my opponent a Veiler, and that was really cool too. So that concluded game 2 because my opponent couldn't resolve it evenly and couldn't deal with the board. So we went to game 3. My opponent set 5 cards, flipped up Big Welcome, summoned Lady, added Lady back to hand. I called main phase, everything was good, and then I activated Lightning Storm. And you know, that's how that goes sometimes. I had full combo, plus that, plus Call by the Grave in case anything else was there. So pretty nice win. We're gonna go into round 2 and I'll let you know how it goes. How's it going, everyone? We just got done with round 2. Unfortunately took an L2-0 to Fluanderies. It was unfortunate, definitely a rough matchup. Normal Sun Robina, Chain Shifter, that's already fun. And then going into game 2, got even lead into a simplified game state. My opponent grinded out a bit. It was a really good game, but at the end of the day, I did lose to Fluanderies, so we're going to keep moving on. There's 7 more to go, so we're going to keep up the high spirits. What was your record this round?
So I won this one 2-0, so I'm killing 2-0. I faced Billy. Game 1, he bricked. Game 2, he had Noir. I had Scarecrow Cashier in hand. I played Punk Cash. I had the field spell up, had enough that mine was 29. Didn't know the interaction between Noir and Scarecrow Cashier. That won me the game basically. I hit Noir, destroyed it, and then got like Fenrir Unicorn, just went rolling.
There's definitely a lot of fun to be had in this format, but there's also a lot of different blowout cards, so you definitely got to make sure that we're aware of those. You know, last time I almost got evenly, but I had Sanctifier to give my opponent a Veiler, so really fun times there, but I didn't have it this time, unfortunately. We're actually at this really cool place, Hotbox. We are getting a calzone, so I'm very excited. I love calzones.
What's your favorite?
So I got the Italian one, and you know, I'm very excited for that though. It's like one of my favorite foods ever, and so when we saw this place, we're like, we got to get out on the lunch break. So we'll tell you how that goes and meet you up after round 3. Hey everyone, back after round 3. I actually just lost to Marincess. My hands are on Twitter right now. I believe it was like Imperm, Valor, Fusion, and then Fenrir, Imperm, Super Poly. It's a rough loss to take. We're going to keep it rolling though. You know, X2 off the bat, that's something that I really don't like seeing, but you know, flu and then to double brick, it is what it is. I'm here with Bean Soldier. How'd your round go?
This round, terrible. I was undefeated up until this point, but got stomped by Dragon Link. You know, Druisworm's one hell of a card against Unchained, so.
Druisworm do be very good though.
Druisworm be very good.
Yeah, no, I'm signing 3 of those just because I was waiting to play against a lot of Unchained, but have not seen it yet. So we will keep going and see what happens.
Yeah.
You feeling confident for the rest of the day?
We're gonna try. We'll see what happens. I'm still learning the deck, so.
No more L's. No more L's.
No more L's. Only W's.
All right, we'll catch you after round 4. Thanks. Hey everyone, we just got done with rounds 4 and 5. I played against Kashtira and then the Branded Chimera Mirror. So Kashtira, I ended up going 2-1. My hands were definitely interesting. Had a lot of navigation through things like Shifter and Rise Heart. A lot of ways to play through, especially with cards like Xyz Encore. Going against Branded Chimera, I did have Super Poly, which was really nice, but game 1 was a crazy grind. Had to go through 2 Branded Fusion and really just resource management the best that I could to really be able to make sure that I was ahead in as much as I could. As far as summoning out Magnum the Reliever, which was really solid, that card really helped me control the game state, going into Mirror Jade when I needed to, and then inevitably just double Chimera and just going into the hand rips. Like, it was so much that I needed to really make sure happened in that match, so I'm really proud of how that went. But we are X2 right now going into round 6, so I'll give you an update when we get there. Thank you. How's it going everyone? Back after round 6, I played against Infernoble. We always joked about the fact that I probably wouldn't play against the deck, so I didn't even want to side deck things like Dark Ruler. I was totally fine with it, but thank God Super Poly came into play. That was a very good card both games. That card is so broken, I don't know how it's still legal, but it is.
Yeah.
Definitely came in handy. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and just kind of talk about your day and what you learned.
Yeah, so I'm Charles. I was playing, got X3, so out of it. So yeah, it is what it is. Learned a lot today. I was playing Cash. I haven't really played the deck a whole lot, but like those cards are just broken, you know, and like they were just, and like, you know, I was just winning games that I feel like I probably wouldn't have if I played a different deck, you know what I mean? So, but ultimately, like, it was a cool experience, and I'm glad that Rise Heart's banned.
What would you say was your biggest takeaway from today?
There was a lot of cash that I didn't expect, but mostly like the Kanko, for some reasons, is going crazy right now at this regional. So, you know, pretty cool.
Definitely another really crazy deck that you kind of have to learn on the fly what to do.
Right, exactly.
It's a lot of fun. I know even right now I'm sitting at X2.
Right.
So just even takeaways for me for the day, you know, there's a lot of things where you might think that a deck is the way for an event, but maybe you just kind of need a second to really analyze that. Because I know if I would have taken a second shot at today, I probably wouldn't have played Chimera. Maybe I would have played like Dragon. But at the same time, I think that I don't regret the decision. I think the build was smart, but it's just not working out the way that I wanted it to. But I still think that overall the day's been really well. Lots to learn after every event, no matter what.
For sure, for sure.
Thanks for joining me on this, too.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and we'll catch back up after round 7.
All right.
Catch you later. How's it going, YouTube? Coming at you today with the end of the day. Now, round 7 came and went against Pearly. Really solid matchup. I have a lot of cards like Radians and Xyz Encores to really make sure that I have an edge in that matchup. But in game 3, I also was able to establish my first Tiger King Wengu. That was really solid and a lot of fun too. That card is just absolutely absurd, and I really love playing it as well. So the last thing though was I did start off 1-2, so that means that everything came down to the very last round, and that was round 8, and I was at table 10. So I clawed my way all the way back up to the top, which was really exciting to really show you that you can do it if you keep working at it and you don't give up. I made it to table 10. I played against somebody that I saw earlier in Swiss using D-Shifter and Kashtira cards. So automatically I was like, all right, I just hope I don't get shifted, and if I do, I got to make a game plan to make sure that I'm ready for it. I won the die roll. Things went well for me in game 1. We went to game 2. Just too much of a grind game to push through. the shifter and just everything else. There was too much, and my hand just didn't have enough in it. If I had like one more power card, I actually probably could have pushed through, but I opened like double Fenrir and Fallen. It just wasn't the best hand. And then my opponent also had a D barrier at the end of their combo off Prost, so it just wasn't happening. But game 3, this was the scariest thing possible. I activated Branded Fusion and it got ashed. I had a normal summon Gazelle, under Shifter, and then just add Chimera Fusion because I didn't have anything else that I could do. And I'm staring at 2 dead Valors, and I was like, I hope that my opponent just didn't open anything, because if they did, it's gonna be a rough one. My opponent goes, looks at their hand, sets one, and passes. And I was like, there's no way. And so I was like, it was meant to be. And I draw for turn, I rip Branded Fusion, and my opponent was just like, you got it. And I was like, oh my god, here we go. You know, it was so cool. So it was great. Something that, you know, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it feels great. So it was just like, man, this one time, please, like, I need my opponent just to brick. And it just happened. And we ended up winning at table 10. I'll be back with my final standing, but we did get there X2, so very solid. Obviously, I want to be able to do better, but that's why we take this time to reflect on our gameplay and what we did. And I already know in my losses I probably could have played a little bit better, even if things I felt like were a little out of my control. There's always something that you probably could have done better, whether it's deck building or a technical play. But I'll let you know what my final standing was. How's it going, everyone? I'm back from PA. That regional was a lot of fun. I did get 29th at X2, so it's a little further into the X2s than I wanted to be, but at the same time, I did lose out pretty early, but I didn't let that break my stride. I kept going, and I did get to table 10 on my last round, and I won, so I did stick it out to X2, which was very cool. I played 41 cards. 41, the math isn't messed up. Anything past that, it is. So 41 for the extra side out slot is really cool, as long as the fact that you also might not just have anything that you can remove. There's so many cards in here that I was just like, I could take this out, but I don't really think that it'll be good for me in the long run to take it out. Especially cards like Droll. A lot of people were saying that you shouldn't play Droll, but I think that the second everyone's like, you don't play Droll is when you definitely play Droll, because then you just don't run into those situations where it would have been really helpful. Droll came up a lot. And there's a lot of my sideboard that was geared to beat Unchained, but I didn't play against a single one, so Droll went pretty crazy. The Druises, the Change of Heart, the Mind Control. I actually used my Change of Heart that's signed by Bakura, so I thought that was really cool. I never even saw it the whole day, but like still a really cool thing to be able to use. But overall, the list performed very well. One of my losses was to literally seeing double Super Poly, double Imperm Fenrir, and then the other one was double Cross Out, double Fusion Valor, I believe. So it was just very bad. Like, my hands were so awful in that match. And there's literally nothing I could have done about that, right? That was just unfortunate. And then the other loss I took was to Steven Santoli on Flu. So that was also a pretty crazy grind game. There was a slight misplay I made because I had Dragos Stapelia and Ash, and my opponent summoned Robina, used the effect, and I had a feeling there was an Advent there. I probably should have just ashed the Robina, because by using Drago, they were allowed to chain Advent and then search Map and Eglin, which you could say you could just ash the Advent, but then your opponent still gets to Eglin, which means they still get to Dreaming Town, so they still get as much as they wanted out of that. Whereas if you just ash the Robina, they use the Advent to get to Map or Eglin, and then if they have the additional way to summon, then you can go ahead and just Drago negate there. So you're a lot better off. So definitely a misplay on my part, but that's something that we look at and we analyze and we move forward with to not do the same thing again. But it was a lot of fun. I did talk about that hotbox place. This calzone went crazy. Shout out to Taylor. We split this, so this was actually only half of it. This calzone was gigantic and it was so good. So definitely a really cool way to spend my lunch break. And then this is a picture of me and Steven Santoli. That was really cool. Really good match there. And then last but not least, the entire crew, all the homies. I appreciate each and every one of you. It was such a wonderful time, and being able to see everyone again, obviously, was just one of the best things possible. Being able to walk in the door and be like, oh, there's a group of friends. There's a group of friends. And it was really fun. I really did enjoy it. So shout out to each and every one of you. We are almost at 19,000, which means that I'm going to be announcing the massive 20,000 giveaway when we get there. Then also, when we hit 19,000, I'm giving away the Hallowed Spellground. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I hope that everyone enjoyed my very first vlog. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you.